The Dark Knight Rises was directed by Christopher Nolan and stars Christian Bale and is the third entry in the Dark Knight trilogy, after Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. And this film takes place almost a decade after the events of The Dark Knight. And this film revolves around the story of Bruce Wayne, who has technically retired from being a hero. He's done being the Batman. And ever since then, he's been depressed, he's been alone, he's been confused. And he's only had Alfred by his side. But destructions are soon to rise in the city of Gotham when Bane tries to outsmart Batman's strengths and weaknesses by destroying Gotham. And Bruce Wayne must become Batman again in order to rise himself as the Dark Knight. You guys obviously know that I'm an enormous Batman fan. I absolutely love Batman as a superhero. I love the Dark Knight trilogy. Batman Begins is one of my all-time favorite movies, along with the Dark Knight. Check this out right here. Check this shirt out. It's amazing. I absolutely love this shirt. I also own the DVD of the Dark Knight. I absolutely love the Dark Knight trilogy. It's so excellent. All of the movies. Batman Begins is excellent. The Dark Knight is one of the greatest movies ever made. And it's definitely on my top 10 favorite movies of all time list. The Dark Knight Rises is one of those movies that knows how to be a sequel. The Dark Knight Rises is freaking awesome. I love this movie. Words can't describe on how epic this movie is. And I know you could easily say that about Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. But The Dark Knight Rises is an extremely fun thrill ride. Christian Bale is excellent as Bruce Wayne in this movie. And you can tell that his character he's just depressed. Ever since he stopped being the Batman, he's done being the Batman. You can tell that he's going through his downfalls because of the pain and suffer he's been feeling in Gotham City. And the fact that Bane is challenging himself against the Batman, it makes it worse for Bruce Wayne. And I just want to say the costume design for Bane is excellent. Absolutely love the costume designs in this film. It's just that he just looks so BA, and you can never get enough of his screen time. Bane is definitely a great villain, no doubt about it. And his main goal is to not only get rid of Gotham, but to see Batman suffer on the many lives that he's let down. Christopher Nolan absolutely directs this movie with so much epicness to it. The shots and the editing in this movie are perfect. The action and thrilling sequences are absolutely amazing too. And one of my favorite sequences of The Dark Knight Rises, and also I'm sorry if you haven't seen this film because I'm about to spoil a scene, but one of my favorite sequences in The Dark Knight Rises is the police car chase sequence. The sequence where Batman first gets on screen in this film. And then you have a lot of these cop cars and police cars in the background that are after Batman because he's the guy who killed Harvey Dent from the last movie. That sequence is absolutely beautiful. And all the action sequences are highly promising in this film. One of the best things that I absolutely love about this movie is this movie revolves around Bruce Wayne trying to figure out what his passion is. Throughout the moments of the movie where Bruce Wayne is stuck in the well with these men, and he's absolutely being broken, he's being tortured, until he finally is broken enough to have the strength to save Gotham City and stop Bane. And it's really, really interesting and really great on how Bruce Wayne found his passion throughout psychological elements and physical elements. Let's talk about Anne Hathaway. Very impressive in this movie, honestly, as Selina. I didn't expect much out of this performance, honestly. But it delivered a lot to the film. And I really appreciated that. And I think Anne Hathaway is one of, if not, the best carnation of Catwoman I've ever seen. I really appreciated many elements that Rises had in this film. The performances in this movie are absolutely unbelievable. And it makes it such a great follow-up to The Dark Knight. It's just that me watching this movie, every time I watch it, it makes me feel so good for some reason. This movie is a blast. Some of the best things about The Dark Knight Rises are the characters. The character setup is amazing. The casting is perfect. The characters are excellent in this movie. Every single character. They all have some sort of development to them. And that's what makes the characters so lovable and so great. Even Bane, who is technically the main antagonist of this entire film. And there is a plot twist in The Dark Knight Rises that I cannot spoil for any of you viewers, just in case if there are any of you who haven't seen this film. There's just a plot twist that absolutely fits perfectly with the story in this film. And it's unexpected. That's why it's so great. And it's one of the things that made me appreciate what this film was going for, the direction this film was headed towards. I absolutely love everything about The Dark Knight Rises. The characters, the writing, the direction, the sequences. And I absolutely love how this film revolves around Bruce Wayne's life, and not just him as Batman, but his downfalls ever since he's retired as being Batman. I absolutely love the development this character went throughout the entire runtime of the film to experience his downfalls a lot more in order to rise and become the Dark Knight again. And those are some of the best things about this film, the character development of Bruce Wayne. And it was so highly refreshing to see this character go through downfalls and just start to blossom throughout the runtime of the film. The Dark Knight Rises is an extremely fun film. This movie is excellent. I love this movie a lot. It is just as good as Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, which absolutely makes The Dark Knight one of the best trilogies of all time. And these will always be Christopher Nolan's best films, in my opinion, aside from his other movies like Inception. But the Dark Knight trilogy is perfect. And Rises ended the trilogy perfect, honestly. The Dark Knight Rises gets an A+. Now, before I end this review, guys, I'm just going to stop you right there. I know what you're thinking. I gave Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises all A+. You might be thinking, which one do I like the best? Well, first off, I just want to say that my favorite out of all of them, I love them all equally. They're all perfect. My favorite out of all of them is The Dark Knight, in my opinion. I love Batman Begins and The Dark Knight Rises. Absolutely love those movies to death. But I just love The Dark Knight a tad more than those films. The second one, my second favorite would be The Dark Knight Rises, and then my last one would be Batman Begins. I love all three of them. But number one would be The Dark Knight, number two would be The Dark Knight Rises, and number three would be Batman Begins. That'd be my ranking, at least. Even though I gave them all a perfect grade. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this review. You guys are the best. I love every single one of you. Look forward to more reviews that will be coming very soon. And as always, I am Mario Fan 520, and I will see you next time. Peace out.